Switzerland, and the rest of the world, Supersonic's money transfer has got you covered. With the largest payout network in the Gambia, you can now receive your monies anywhere you are, from Kartong to Koina, with less hassle. Yes! You can receive monies from your family and friends in UK, Europe, USA, Canada, Switzerland, and the rest of the world with our safe, secure, fast, and convenient service that offers you the largest selection of payout locations in the Gambia. Supersonic's money transfer. We are currently in 34 African countries and counting, giving you quality money remittance services that are second to none. Visit the Google Play Store or the Apple Store today to download the Supersonic's Money Transfer app and enjoy excellent money transfer services only with Supersonics.
Greetings, viewers. This is your favorite show again, Banko La Kuwo, that comes your way on every Sunday from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock with your host, Serif Conte. Today, the guest we have here is Mr. Lamin Manneh, who is not a new person, a former head of communication at Gamtel, who has a vast experience when it comes to communication and also the civil service. Today will be the third time we're going to meet, but for the first time on this platform called Banko La Kuwo with Serif Conte. Before going further, Mr. Manneh, Gambians are watching at you. I think this is not the first time they are meeting with you, so you can greet them first.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be part of this program, as usual, and I believe many people are following my programs. But I can see that on Facebook and so many YouTube channels. With that, I thank Gambian Talent for coming up with a brilliant information sharing as far as Gambia is concerned. It's Gambia we have, no other place but Gambia.
Mr. Manneh, today we're going to start directly from the main point. We've seen a couple of days ago, the Vice President, Badara Diouf, came out here and, speak to the Gambians. Yes, speak to the Gambians, and also there were a lot of frank words from those speeches. But yes, from that meeting, some were praising him. I can see a lot of people were praising him, but also you have a lot of people also criticizing, saying that his former ministry was not okay. So how can he stand there and try to be, talking of corruption and other things? So what is your view?
Thank you so much, Sirif. That was a very good question, and I will definitely want to elaborate more on it. Badara is not a new man to me. I work with Badara Diouf in Jawara region.
Oh.
And government need to understand one thing. And when it comes to power sharing, let them listen to me carefully. Let them not listen to me with another. Let them listen to me carefully. Running a government, you need to know the organs, the power limitation, your power and your limitation. In any institution, you have to know your limit and your power. First of all, I would like to tell Gambians who are criticizing him, because to me, they don't know the system much more, like me. Otherwise, they will not criticize the man when he was a Minister of Higher Education. As a former Minister of Higher Education, he's in the same category with any other ministry, with any other minister at that point in time. Let government understand that. And his power lies within his ministry. He doesn't have to cross the border. Border means he doesn't have to jump from his ministry and talk about other ministry at that point in time. That's why I said power limitation. Yes, a limitation. But remember, let government understand one thing also. Becoming a vice president, you are second in command. Second in command in the country. From the president, we have vice president. So now the other ministers who were his colleagues, the same standard with him, are no longer his standard now. Do you know why?
No.
He is second in command. After the president, vice president is the head of the civil servant, and he is the head of every individual in this country. Well, that's why I call him second in command. So today, being a vice president is more powerful than before being a minister of education. So at that point in time, even if he has that thing in mind, he dare not to speak out because it's not his domain. Now, I said loud and clear from the day Badara was appointed, from the day Youth and Sport Minister was appointed Bakar Baji. From the day the former Minister of Education, Claudia, was appointed, I definitely supported Barrow in doing that. There are sectors that need to be changed, and the Finance Minister also supported Barrow in that. But particularly, Vice President was the right pill to the right hole. You know why I call him right pill to the right hole? Experience is the master. Also, the man is well educated. His education cannot be compared with that of Dr. Ture. They are quite different. I know Dr. Ture from 92. She cannot deny it. And I worked with Barrow when Jawara regime was there. I know his potentiality and I know his credibility. And I said it loud and clear immediately after the cabinet was resolved, when Barrow appointed Barrow Diouf. I said for the first time, he came with somebody potential, creative, and he's always with the truth. I know him for the truth. Yes, he will not. He always speak the truth, even in the Jawara regime. Barrow will not look at his position as a vice president to bend down for anybody. I believe him. He's a man who has already crossed the bridge. Barrow live. If you look at his age today, Barrow can not be only a vice president, but he can even be an advisor to Barrow regime, to Barrow system. He can be. When you come to age-wise, I doubt it if there's anyone who can challenge him on age-wise. If you come to the experience in serving the nation, no one can be compared with him right now in the cabinet. He works with Jawara. In those days, imagine. Yes. So Barrow is the right person to be at the vice president, and Barrow, as far as I know him, is the right man. In fact, when he speaks about this, I'm not surprised. I know he has this thing in mind since before being a minister for education.
But then some are saying he didn't say anything.
No, you can't say that.
That's what people are saying.
No, that's what I'm saying. Let Gambian understand one thing. At that point in time, he's being a minister. He's the same category with Minister of Education, with Minister of any other minister. The same category. Like you and me were in the same category. Will I tell you will I overlap my ministry and talk about your ministry? We are all under the umbrella of one president. Is that fair? It is time to speak about it. Now he's powerful than before. Today he is second in command. Let Gambian understand that. Whatever he has in his mind, all along, he cannot say it. Today he is able to say it, and he should be able to say that. Let Barrow not look at the eye of the president. Let him not look at the eye of any cabinet minister. Let him think of his date, his time of being in this world, serving his country. And remember the day of judgment. Every human being, every Gambian citizen should put that in a mindset. Think of the day of judgment. Everybody will be accountable for what you said or what you did. Let Gambians stop selfishness. To me, it's a selfishness. The man at the higher education, he did a little bit. He did his best, to me, because for the first time during Barrow Diouf time, we have a Gambian handicaps who are lucky to go on overseas university to become to do their doctorate. Handicaps, not one or two.
So you have handicaps?
Yes, right now, and it happened during Barrow Diouf time. Barrow gave them the scholarship. I knocked his door, and that guy also knocked his door on behalf of those people, and he did it. So Barrow did a lot for the Gambians and non-Gambians, particularly the vulnerable ones. So Barrow, it's his time to speak. Yeah. Let him speak as his time to speak.
Yes. During that speak, he shed some light on different ministries, including that of lands and also tourism. Yes, tourism. You personally, what did you think those ministries should add on to what
he taught the right ministries. I would thank my President Barrow of getting Musa Drame out of local government as a minister. He did it at the right time.
Why would you thank President Barrow for removing Musa?
Let the government let the whole world knows, particularly the government knows that I have nothing against Barrow. I supported Barrow. Barrow knows that personally. I supported him, internally and externally. He knows it. He cannot dispute it. I supported him right when things were very hard. He cannot deny it. I gave him classified information. I guided him how to go about it during the transition, during the 2017 row. So I supported him more than most of the ministers surrounding him today. I don't have anything against him. But if he does positive things, I'll comment for it. And if he does something that, to my feeling, is against it, I would not hesitate to come out and play, and to talk about it. Barrow removed Musa Drame from the Ministry of Lands at the right time. Otherwise, 2022 to 2026, anything can happen here on the issues of land, as far as Musa Dram is there.
As a resource of land?
So
you think Musa doesn't have the capability to run?
Musa, instead of cooling down the situation of what Jammeh has left in the area of land dispute, land problem, Musa Dram has increased it.
But don't you think before Jammeh left or shortly after Jammeh left here, land issue was, is something that was creating a lot of problems. So already Musa already found those problems there, don't you think?
No, Musa was unable to address it, and his permanent secretary, particularly his permanent secretary. He cannot be there for 5 years before Musa comes there. Remember, the permanent secretary of Musa was there, Mbarodi was there, the late May Soros in perfect peace. What is his name? The former opposition leader. Opposition, Mbrekama, who passed away.
Opposition leader.
He's a very strong man. He was once a minister of local government land during Jammeh regime. And you have another minister called Akibayo was the time.
Yeah, Akibayo.
These two were there when the permanent secretary was there, Sanyang. So he went, and then the late Lamin Manneh also was there as a minister of local government after the regime change, 2017. You remember Lamin Manneh, the late Lamin Manneh? And all along, the same Buba Sanyang been a permanent secretary of local government and land. But Barrow removing Musa Drameh from local government and land, he did it at the right time. And let me warn him and let me advise him. And let me advise the new head of the department, Salimato, responsible for civil servant and permanent secretary, to remove Buba Sanyang from the Ministry of Local Government and Land as permanent secretary. Let me deploy to another ministry. It's not fit. It created a lot of tensions and Musa Drameh together. So if Barrow is able to remove Musa Drameh from lands to another ministry, it's a bravo. But the permanent secretary also should be moved. Those two are dirty people. They are not clean. They are completely dirty people, and they are failing Gambians. And they are the ones creating tension.
But why you say
that? I have a reason.
Yes.
They are the ones creating so many tensions on this land dispute, these two. Musa, you know why Musa never have an opportunity to work on the Jammeh? Musa tried his level best after the coup 1994-95. But he has been sidelined by Jammeh administration. Musa, one, is not educated. Musa coming to be a parliamentary secretary in those days in Jawara regime, I was with him in 1985 at the Kwarangul. He was a parliamentary secretary. Musa is not capable of being even a parliamentary secretary, but because in those days, Musa's father was a chief. Sefo. Being a chief in the local community, your sons and daughters have been recognized. Because in those days, Jawara regime will use them. You use chiefs and alcalos for the political agenda. At the end of the day, the chiefs will send them their kids to the government to be somebody else. Do you understand it? They make what we call make hay while the sun shines. That's what the regime did at that time. So Musa Drameh was fortunate to be among those people, with the late Matuya Balde and so forth. May he rest in perfect peace. But when it comes to credibility, you come to education, Musa has nothing. He's not credible to be a minister. And not credible even to be a land minister. Instead of Musa cooling down the situation of the Gambians in the area of lands, Musa and Buba Sanyang bring flames. Because that's what the time tensions were very high. Musa, being a minister there, doesn't even achieve anything. Instead, he was there to grab more land. For his colleagues. Like what they did at the end of the day. This is what they did. They shared the lands among themselves. Bruford High.
So, like you were saying, Musa was there giving out lands instead of trying to calm the situation. Yeah. He was just there giving out some.
Musa,
lands.
Let me give you one evidence, only one before I go. Musa, there is somebody at Sukuta Salaji who was given a land by the ministry, allocations, until he fenced the compound. After fencing the compound with the door, Musa decided, when Musa became minister of local government land, he decided to give it to his son. Imagine his own son, a record clerk at the office of the president. A record clerk. I'm saying this on media. Musa gave the same allocation with Buba Sanyang, with the permanent secretary, to that son. And already the place has been fenced. The place has been given to the guy, the old man, an allocation. He fenced it. His family has all the authentic documents. But when Musa came as a minister of local government and land, Musa gave that particular portion. The same fence, already fenced, to that guy. And now the matter is before the court. So you see how dirty Musa and Bubasani is. There's a number of evidence. You go to Salaji, 99.9% problem at Salaji were there before Musa. But when Musa came, Musa added more there. He added more with Bubasanya. And not only Salaji. So many land grabbing systems here, even Oluyundum. The problem of giving lands to parliamentarian, you remember that issue? What doesn't take the right procedure was done by Buba because of their political agenda. It was done by Buba Sanya and that of Musa Drame. So Musa, thank God, I don't know who advised Barrow about Musa move to another ministry. But even there, within this service, he's going to make blunders there.
All right. Now, what problem do you have in the Ministry of Tourism?
Tourism, my problem there is not much. I even said in one of my interviews with Standard that Barrow has people that are credible now. I support most of his cabinet. Finance, vice president, youth and sport, education, basic and secondary education, and higher education, they're all good. Just to name few. But tourism, if Ahmad Bar remains as a tourism minister, I'm warning Barrow and his entire cabinet that Gambia in 2022 tourism is going to be disastrous. It's going to be disastrous because from 2017 to 2021, the tourism sector has never developed anything, only setback. Then let them not talk about COVID. Before COVID comes, already tourism sector has been dying because there's no credible minister there. Ahmad Bar is not a credible minister to be a minister of tourism. Being a hotel manager, being a manager once time, a room manager at Como Beach, doesn't qualify him to be a credible person, to be a ministry of tourism, to be a minister. You know, being a minister of tourism, you need to market the country. You need to do marketing with the GT word. The marketing, you need to sell the products of the Gambians. The products of the Gambians include so many things are associated to that. Do you understand? Quality food, quality services, quality hotels. The local cuisines and other things, you can name it. I'm not a tourism expert. But from my time of being at the Jawara regime to Jame, I've seen that when it is time for tourism, not to go to the president or to go to the crowd and talk blah, blah, blah. It doesn't make sense. You need to do practical things for people to see. And in fact, he did another thing. Inclusion was there before, but very limited. But when Ahmad Bar came as a minister of tourism, the inclusion, what we call the inclusion, there's a system called inclusion in the hotel industry, at the tourism sector. He empowered them too much. Hardly you see tourists going out to buy local products, to go to restaurants, to buy these crafts that are, you hardly see that. Everything was inclusion.
When you talk of inclusion, that is before the tourists will come to the Gambia, you will pay everything.
Yeah. So our local partners are not gaining much and they are paying taxes. So he empowered them too much. He empowered them too much. It goes up to so much so that governments living within the tourism sector are not getting what they're supposed to get. And they are taxpayers. Their value should be considered as a citizen of this country, as a taxpayers. Because empowering them will also empower Ahmad Bar himself and his hotel. You know, he's still running a hotel. Ahmad Bar is a hotelier, and we all know that. He has a partners that are running hotel. We all know that even during the Jame regime. So that inclusion will also empower him to be more richer to the detriment of the poor and needy in this country. So those kind of people are not credible to be a minister, particularly tourism. Ahmad Bar cannot run tourism. You have some potential Gambians, even Jawara regime, and they are still alive. They have been far better than that of... no, I will not mention the name. I would like Barrow to invite me. I will give Barrow the names. I'll give him the list of names that are potential, that can sell Gambian products to the outside world, and then go back to the former. But Ahmad Bar is not fit to be a minister of tourism. Let him be an advisor. Yeah.
So as of now, these two areas,
Barrow need to do a lot in tourism. Ministry, he has to change the ministry. Right. And Musa Drame at the fisheries, he cannot do anything there. In fact, it's going to be from the frying pan to the fire. You know, fisheries were in trouble. Since they sell most of the products to Chinese, occupying our sea and everything, you know that. Our local fish products I encounter a lot of problems there, Chinese. So if Musa go there, Musa is a corrupt person. He's very corrupt. So if he goes there, in fact, it is going to increase. Musa is one of the notorious corrupt ministers in this country because Musa has been sitting down without engaging into Jammeh regime for 22 good years. He's almost totally bankrupt because Jammeh never give avenue to Musa. Musa ended up being selling land, selling sand at the Tipagara. Do you know that? That's what he was doing. He has trucks selling sand to the community. Because Jammeh never gave him an opportunity to work there. Remember, I'm telling you this story. So Musa was almost bankrupt, and Musa is corrupted power monger when he came in 2017. And very unfortunately, because of their friends, or maybe because of he called him as a tribe, the same tribe, get him as an expert. Musa knows nothing. So at the end of the day, instead of Musa help the nation, particularly the president, Musa would ruin Ministry of Fisheries as he did to local government. So it's not credible.
Yes. So
Musa, I'm advising Barrow to take Musa to a club called an advisory club because Barrow advisory club is another disaster.
So you are saying Barrow has an advisory club?
Yeah, advisory club.
Led by who?
There are intellectuals there, led by the former opposition party Bako, the mobile force.
Okay.
So they're not credible to be ambassadors.
All right. So what other ministry do you think should add more when it comes to development?
Well, I will advise my Minister of Finance is number one. Finance need to do more to engage the stakeholders, to engage central bank, to see how best the economy can be, particularly their reports. Keta, I will not be surprised if Keta can deliver at finance. Keta is more credible than Mambure Njai.
So what do you think Mambure wasn't doing?
No, Mambure was not doing enough because Mambure is good in stealing money. You know me, I always say the truth. If he doesn't like it, let him shoot me to court. But Mambure is an experience. He's an expert in stealing money. And he can open a way for you to steal money. Because he will get his own share. So that was the trouble between him and Jammeh.
So you have evidence of that?
Oh, come on. In fact, he removed him at the best time. Otherwise, he has failed governance from 2017. Sirip, you know, let us not be biased. We have to say the truth. 2017 to 2020, you know how many $1 million we have in this country as a grant? Not even loans, grant. Where is the money going to? Embezzlement, including COVID money. It all goes astray. They sell it, they sell it among themselves to the detriment of the poor and needy in this country. Now farmers cannot even have a fertilizer. Now it's costing $2,500 from $2,500 to $2,000. How many Gambian farmers can buy that?
That will link us to Minister of Agriculture.
How many? And not only agriculture, the Minister of Finance should do something about it. Even the president has to come. $2,000, no Gambian farmers can buy that. I, in fact, got a very good message from some of the Gambian farmers whom I know from provinces that they are no longer going to continue farming this year because they cannot afford it. They use 10 bags or 15 bags during farming. So somebody who cannot afford a bag of fertilizer, $2,000, and he or she is going to use 10 bags or 15 bags. Can he or she buy? He told me, live and direct, they called me and said they are not going to do farming this time. Even for rice farming, they will not do it because they cannot afford it. So that one will come as a separate topic. But definitely the economy needs to be adjusted. And governments, the skyrocketing of essential commodities is unacceptable. Let governments stop baffling themselves, telling people that, you know, this is a global problem, it's a global phenomenon.
Yeah, because
in any problem in this world, there's a problem sharing is problem solving.
Yeah, but you have some stuffs coming from Ukraine. You understand? So most of these people, sometimes if you ask, they'll tell you, this skyrocketing.
Before Ukraine-Russian war, that was just at the corner, less than 6 months. To be honest, before Ukraine war, the Gambian economy is the one of the poorest in this world. Let us say the truth. In English, that is, let's go to the ground floor to sleep. You already find a snake there. You don't tell snake, let us go down to the ground, isn't it?
You are expert in proverb, huh?
Of course, yes. So before you talk about Ukraine, your economy has already pumped. It has already been destroyed by the former Minister of Finance and his entire cabinet ministers. From 2017 to 2021, the economy was not making any good use of it. The whole entire cabinet failed the Gambians. The whole entire coalition failed the Gambians, totally. Because they were unable to control the economy to an extent that the skyrocketing of these essential commodities, they cannot put that on Ukraine and Russia. It's just at the corner.
So what do you think should be a solution?
The solution now is we have a potential credible Minister of Finance. Let him try to hit GRA, Gambia Port Authority, put a drastic measures to the central bank to control the economy, to see how best the inflation can be going down. Otherwise, we'll go nowhere. It has to be a collective responsibility. That's why when Brother came out to say, there are certain ministries that have to come out to see how best they can clear the problem of the Gambians. Because Gambians we have hope on them. You remember that word from Brother? Brother said that, the Vice President. That is the right thing. Let the people that we trust that we are giving them the position, let them come out and try to do their utmost best to get Gambians out of this trouble. Every corner of this world, they're in trouble, but they came together to see how best they can sort out this problem. But let the President and his entire cabinet stop baffling them and telling them that, the Ukraine war, Russia-Ukraine war, COVID-19, it has already made Gambians struggling, dying, particularly the vulnerable ones. Particularly the vulnerable ones, the disabled.
All right, now, just to remind you that you're watching Gambian Talents TV, this is your favorite show called Banko La Kuwo that used to come your way on every Sunday from 7 o'clock to 8 p.m. With your host, Serif Conte. Now we move, time is going. NAMS are giving $100,000 as clothing allowance.
Demanding, is already approved?
Is there already. It's already there because it was, I think the past legislature came up with it, and now it's supposed to be given to this 6th legislature now. So, what is your opinion on that? Them being given 100,000 as clothing allowance.
You see, governments need to know one thing in life. No matter how long we live in this world, one day we'll die. The most disappointed year for this parliamentarian is when they claim for $100,000 for clothing. I don't know who came up with this idea, but this is a bad idea at a bad time. Bad idea at a bad time. We are now in the rainy season. Before the new parliamentarian were sworn in, we were saying that, particularly me saying that the former parliamentarian were not doing anything.
They are not doing anything.
They did little to change, to do reforms, so to do certain things here. They failed us there. So many things have not been changed, and it was supposed to be done by them the past 5 years. But come to this last parliamentarian elected, I'm so disappointed about them. Before they demand $100,000 for their clothes, if you are demanding $100,000 as a cloth allowance, when your electorate, the vulnerable people, the poor and the vulnerable people who voted for you, cannot even have get a fertilizer for their farm. Those who voted for you, the vulnerable one, the electorate, 99.9% are poor people. Those who stood under the sun to vote for you. You don't think of them. You don't talk about them. Now you talk about your own personal development, 100,000 for cloth allowances, when your electorate, those who elect you there, cannot even have a meal, 3 meals a day. You don't come out to see how best you talk about that 100,000 can be added to the economy so that the skyrocketing of the essential commodities that your electorate are suffering can have a meaningful life, can have something to do with it. You are now putting a burden on them. When they put you there to ease their burden, they will be elected parliamentarians to tell them our needs and aspirations, our challenges we are facing.
All right, some are saying if you look at that, if you check that money, it's like every month $1,500. So some are saying it's okay, that should be given to them, because when you check it.
For me, when I heard of it, I totally condemn it. It's too early for them to say, to demand for $1,000 to $100,000 at the moment. It's too early. Which month did they swear? Do they swear them? Which month? How many months? Less than 4 months. Tell me.
Yes, less than
4 months. You don't even do your underground work. You don't even consult your electorate.
But they said it was proposed by the past legislature.
Yeah, but you condemn it. Something proposed by Jammeh regime. Barrow came in coalition, condemned some of them. They didn't go ahead with them because the cabinet or the parliamentary they see that it is not advantageous. So they leave them. Don't say that my former colleague brought this idea. You have to scrutinize it to see whether it is best for me and it is the best for the nation, and it is the right time to come out with it. You know, right time, what I expect parliamentarians to do, they should come out with a tangible solution to address our economy. The skyrocketing of essential commodities in this country, my friend, go to the grassroots. People are dying slowly in their home. I swear to Holy Quran. People are dying slowly because most of the government feel ashamed to go out and tell their problems to people, particularly the vulnerable when they're handicaps. When they have breakfast, they don't have lunch. Imagine the COVID came here till the COVID is almost over. Gambia government from coalition government 2017 to 2021, now 2022, now to 6 months today, never give a single dollar to vulnerable people like handicaps. So if so-called able are struggling, complaining about the skyrocketing of essential commodities in this country, how about the vulnerable and the handicaps? They are almost dying. I think the parliamentarians should come to their sense to think about the vulnerable people in the street, think about the vulnerable people at home. Think about the mothers and sisters that elected them there, that if they have breakfast, they don't have lunch. And most of them who are electorate are farmers, are poor farmers. Now we are in a struggling time. Rainy season is a bad time for Gambia. Do you know that? It's a bad time for Gambians because at that time, to struggle and get certain things compared to the dry season is different. So you need to think of the electorate. The poor and the vulnerable ones are behind you. It's not the best time to talk about 100,000 for clothes allowances for parliamentarians. That's nonsensical when I heard of it. And it's a total failure. I'm totally disappointed about this parliamentarian. Totally disappointed. I cannot keep it. I have to come out. And in my subsequent programs, I'll be saying it. It's a total failure for our lawmakers to come out at this bad time when government is struggling to see how best they can address the issue of fertilizer, to see how best they can to see how best they can address the issue of economy for the vulnerable people, for the poor Gambians, the skyrocketing of essential commodities. Tell me, I think that's the best time. This is the best time for the new parliamentarian to capitalize on these areas I'm talking about, for them to have a credible, for people to recognize them and to to have confidence in them. But now they are talking about themselves before the vulnerable one. Now they are talking about themselves before the electorate. I think once you are elected for a reason. Any decision you want to make, look at the back. Who are those who voted for me? What are their plight? Government need to put that into context. Mm-hmm. Go to bed with it. Come up with it. There we can solve the problem. But I don't know, Gambian. This can tell me that we don't have credible parliamentarian again. Now it's from the frying pan to the fire. Let them not capitalize on these chances. Our former parliamentarian brought this idea, so we have to go ahead with it. No, that's not the reason I would take it. I can bring an idea which is not amicable, is not suitable. You come and condemn it and forge ahead, and I would take it. That idea wasn't good. Let them not capitalize and tell me that because the former parliamentarian brought that. That one is a disaster. For me, it's a total failure from our parliamentarian. If I was there, as I stood as an independent, I will condemn it at the parliament. I will not be in for it. Because I've been putting my clothes before going anywhere as an ordinary Gambian. Why should I be claiming 100,000 for clothing? When my electric are dying slowly, I won't take it. I will not be part of it. I think these are reasons why God didn't put me there this time. Mm-hmm. I think that's the reason.
Hey, so
I want to be party to that.
All right. So now we move on to government, yes, TRRC, when TRRC, when they conclude everything, they came up with their recommendations and give it to the government. And then the white paper came. So, what do you think is the loophole in that white paper?
No, I didn't go through it completely, but as I'm going through it, I thank government.
Yeah, two of the recommendations were rejected. That is the Sonko.
Which Sonko?
Sonko, former IG, Sonko. Yes, Sonko and also Usman Sow. They were rejected because they are not part of the. They were not part of from the beginning of 2017, from the 1994 to 2016. So they were removed there. So the rest, the government said they are going to implement that.
So Sonko and Usman Sow are not part of the.
Are not part of that duration.
That duration.
They are not according to what they said.
2016.
Yes, 1994 to 2016. Yes. So now I'm saying, what do you think now? The TRRC, the government.
So that TRRC doesn't recommend Sonko and
so to be prosecuted.
To be prosecuted.
Yes.
That is the present director of SIS.
Yes. So I'm saying, what is your opinion on that white paper?
Yeah, on the white paper, if a TRRC came with that recommendation, removing Sonko, the former interior minister.
Yeah, if the government came, government is the one who removed Sonko and Usman Sow.
Because they're not party to 1994 to 2016?
Yes. That's what they said.
Well, and then TRRC recommended them.
Yes.
For Sonko, I would definitely support that idea.
Why?
Sonko was not part of it. 1994 was not part of it.
Now Usman Sow?
Usman Sow is part of the NIA. He has been working with the NIA for the past years, before 2016. Okay?
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah, you know the Usman Sow's cases, before TRRC, before they go to the SIS, former NIA, to do their assessment, collect evidences, they find out that Usman Sow has changed everything there.
Yeah, that's what I'm coming.
So,
that's what I'm coming.
Yes,
I think Usman Sow,
that's not part of 26.
No, Usman Sow changing the color. I'll call it the color.
What color?
The NIA, the former NIA. He has painted everything. And then to TRRC recommended, as I had, painting those areas, changing the structure of, completely structure of NIA. To them, it has been, they cover evidence. That's what TRRC was complaining. Yeah. That Usman Sow did that to cover the evidence. But to me, I don't take it as something. Because whether they cover, whether Usman renovated that place, to them has covered so many evidences. Remember, NIA before and SIS are different. NIA was been part of the 22 years of regime. But when change came, they changed to SIS. So it's a two different.
Now, what do you think?
No, Usman Sow should not be party. Should not be level as should not be part of this white this thing. I don't support it.
Yes. Now, what I'm saying now.
The white paper. The way the government removed Sonko and Usman Sow, I supported that idea. Usman Sow should not be there. And also, I commend government for taking another step. That was it was a good thing. I said it.
What is that?
That is not taking the punishment from the TRRC recommendation that our quadrilateral countries like Nigeria, who have been supporting government for the past years, through their technical assistance, the magistrate, and so many chief of how do you call it? We had magistrate from lawyers from Nigeria on the technical assistance. Even Chief Justice was one time from Nigeria. Remember that? The TRRC recommended it was for them to go for those people also during that time being on the Jammeh regime. You remember that? It was said. But government said, no. They will not be party to that. I support that idea. Let them not go for Nigeria. Let them not go for Nigeria and those who have been helping us in this country during Jammeh regime. The Nigerian government have been supporting Gambia since Jawara regime, like Turkey. So those countries, even if their citizens were involved in during Jammeh 22 years of dictatorship, you should not go for them. Leave them and then continue with your relationship with the particular nation. Africa, we have to be there for one another. Government stepped on that, I support it. Let them not think about it. I really support it. And the TRRC, where we were recommending for so to be prosecuted or so to be anything, I don't support it. So we need to be left behind, like Sonko.
All right, so what do you think is a way?
In fact, whether to me, whether so change that place or not, already the ample evidence are there. Evidence that the TRRC want to get, they get it, they already got it. They cannot get more than that. When the individual, the culprit will come out and say, yes, I did this. That's completely enough. So even if Usman Sow didn't change that situation, what kind of evidence do they think they will get it there?
All right, so
for that, I support government not to take any actions against Usman Sonko and that of So. No, I don't.
So what do you think is a way forward to reconciliation?
It's a way forward to
reconciliation, in your own opinion?
No, for me, if the victims accepted that the victims are there, and the culprit also accepted that they are guilty of doing those things, I think the best way is to forgive and let them be compensated. Let government find a solution for compensation, not to be prosecuted. Prosecuting them, to me, it means we are not healing. I don't know what I mean. Yes, people have been killed. People have been victimized to the extent that it's unbearable. They are my fellow Gambians. I'm sorry. If I may hurt some people, but I'm appealing to Gambians. We cannot forgive. We cannot forget, but we can forgive. And let government come out with a solution to say best the victim can be given some token of appreciation to compensate them, directly or indirectly. You remember during TRRC, I recommend them for doing one thing. They went back as far as buying kola nut to bring the perpetrators and the victim together for forgiveness. I think you witnessed that. Those are the type of things that should continue as an Africans. Yes, human rights are there, but you see this human rights, it will come from our colonial masters, the Westerns. Yes? So sometimes we need to look into it, but sometimes you have to go back and look into the tradition. The norms and values of Africans are still existent. So we need to nurture that also. When O.J. Jallow will stand at the terrace and say, I forgive everybody. And then Baba Lee will stand and say, I forgive everybody. I just name few. Why can't others forgive? I don't think TRRC can be far bigger than that of apartheid in Nigeria, in South Africa. Can it? I'm talking to the whole world. Can Gambian TRRC be compared to an apartheid system in South Africa before they got their independence? Can it be compared? Jammeh 22 years of dictatorship can never be compared with that of South African apartheid. But when Nelson Mandela and his entire ANC leaders would say, I have that documents with me, we will forgive, we shall never forget. I have it. We will forgive, but we shall never forget. That's fine. Let's find a way out. I think Gambians can do that. Gambians are known for one thing. Do you know that? The peace and tranquility. Because we know that. And Gambians, we just speak louder, but we don't do actions. Because why? That's how we are brought up by our community, both Christians and Muslims. We live side by side.
All right, when it comes
for that, I'm appealing to Gambians, not only government, but I'm appealing to the entire nation, from Katun to Koila. Let us come together as one family and forgive. Though we cannot forget, but forgive. I'm appealing. That's my opinion. I'm appealing for Gambians to come together under one umbrella and let government do their best to give some.
All right, so
to the victim.
When it comes to the aspect of politics, during the election, there were a lot of attacks verbally between politicians. So now, when President Adama Barrow already win, still now we've seen Gambia is divided.
Yes, I've said that
politically.
Yeah.
So, what do you think?
I've said that after the election.
Yes.
After the parliamentary election, because I participated in parliamentary election.
Yes.
And I failed. I achieved another way around because I'm able to get rid of the rubber stamp there. That the whole world knows why I said I won. I'm able to get together with others party with my other colleagues, we were able to get rid of the rubber stamp there.
Rubber stamp?
Yeah.
Who is rubber stamp?
Baba Gale, the former parliamentarian of Parliamentary constituency, it's a rubber stamp. It was a complete disaster and was a complete failure. That's why I came out plain to attack him and get rid of him. So I'm comfortable with that.
Mm-hmm. So what
for that being,
yeah.
From the time I participated in politics up to today, you are right, governments are divided. But we are healing. We are healing in a sense that some of them, those attacks have been going on during the politics, but now politics is over.
Yeah, but the politicians, still now there is a problem between the politicians, the parties, and the politicians.
Let me advise the Gambians. Mm-hmm. I always say this during my advocacy. Politicians comes and go. Politicians, they come and go. How many parties do you know? From the 65 to today, how many parties were participating in the Gambia politics? So many. Can we count them? You cannot. 1965 to today, how many? You cannot count it. But most of the parties have gone. Politicians have gone. That's why I always say that. Politicians come and go, but we the government remain as governments. We the electorate remains as electorate. Let us stop listening to our politicians too much. Whatever they talk, let us analyze it and take the best part of it and forget about the worst side of it. Politicians will bring something that to divide and rule, to make a divide and rule for their own interest, for them to succeed in their seat. But remember, when they succeed in their seat or when they fail, it's we the electorate who normally goes to one another. A naming ceremony, a funeral, you can name it. So this is why I always want Gambians to be very, very vigilant. Let them not listen to the politicians 100%. Let them take it 25, not 75%. Let them know that the politician goes and comes. But we remain as Gambians, we remain as electorate. And we remain as mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters. We remain as one family. So now politics is over, parliamentary election has gone.
So now...
And the presidential election has gone.
Yeah, so now...
So the government, what they should do, let them come together and develop this country. Let us forget about the partyism now. For me, let us stop about the partyism. Let us pack it aside and help the government. You are not helping Adam Barrow. Whoever think that if you come together to help the government to go, you are helping Adam Barrow. No, you are helping yourself. We are the government.
So where should the reconciliation start?
The reconciliation should start from the grassroots.
Where? Who are those grassroots people?
You know, let me tell you, the top politicians, the fishmen, the big fish, they don't have problem. The roots are the problem. The ground floor, the ground are the problem.
The party militants?
The party militants are the problem. Let them forget about the party. Let them come from the grassroots, come together, so that the party leaders will recognize that, this is not what we think, but now things are happening. They will change their mindset. The party, the grassroots should come up. The party militants, the supporters, should forget now the politics and come together and say, well, let's develop the Gambia. You know me, I'm talking. Mm-hmm. I'm talking like I'm still a politician. But that doesn't mean that I hate my country. I love my country. I want a betterment of this country. No one can develop our country for ourselves. It's our government should come together to develop the country. And let government understand one thing. That's what I learned from Jawara. May he so rest in peace. If state did something good, comment about it. If they did something bad, comment about it. That will adjust them so that they can adjust themselves. But don't see them as an enemy. We are not an enemy of this nation. We are a credible citizen of this country, a taxpayer. I've been paying tax for 40 good years in the government to make sure that the country goes the right direction. So if I see certain things happening and it doesn't suit me, it doesn't suit my fellow electorate, and it doesn't suit my fellow vulnerable people, particularly disabled, I have no choice but to come out and say my words. So that's mine. But that doesn't mean I'm a bad, or I'm against any president, or I'm against any party. No. Oppositions and the incumbent are all there to develop the country. Party opposition, you know what they said during the campaign? Vote for me. If you vote for me, Sirif, I'll build this nation. I'll create a conducive environment. Blah, blah, blah. That's what they said. Unless they're there, they fail you. But that's what they said. And the incumbent also would say the same thing. So I think we are in the same boat. But maybe with a different opinion at a different particular time. But when the election goes, let us forget about it. And now come to a nation building. It's our time we build this nation from 2021, 2022 now to 2026. And when 2026 comes, if you see me on the platform of politics, don't be surprised. let government know I'm a politician. I'm a politician, I'm going to struggle to go. But my particular being a politician, 75% is to fight for the vulnerable, to fight for my fellow handicapped. That's my main target. 75% of my agenda is about the vulnerable people in the street, the vulnerable people at home dying, and the vulnerable, particularly the person with disability. That is my fight, and I'll continue to fight because why I'm fighting that is, I don't want the challenges that I faced in 80s, the 70s and 80s, when I was going to schools, up to the time I retired from government. I don't want my fellow handicapped, a generation yet to be born, to go through the challenges. It's so bad.
All right, are you planning to vie for the position of presidency?
In future, don't be surprised. In future, I can stand on presidential election. Let the whole nation knows that. Because what they can do, I can do it. In fact, if I'm there, I will do far better than Barrow. Barrow said from the beginning that he doesn't know much about the government. But remember, I worked on the Jawara, 11 good years. And I'm an expert. I control the entire telecommunication at the State House, the monitoring and evaluation of all the telephone calls. That time there was no GSM. Do you know that? So I worked on the Jawara 11 years. Then Jammeh was like, 3 years with me. And the day of the coup, I was there. I was part of the coup. Because I was the man controlling the communication. Remember, I worked with Jammeh until 22 years. And Barrow came. So I'm an expert in this area. I know the government did what they wrote. No one can dispute it. So and I'm telling governments, it's not the leg doing the job, it's the brain, it's the mindset. If I'm there as a president, I will change this country into another way, another dimension, I promise you. I will do far better than that of Barrow government. The coalition failed us. That was not the reason why we put Barrow than the coalition, to be honest. The economy has been plumbed. We have been living from the frying pan to the fire. I would say it because there was nothing. They don't care for vulnerable. They don't care for handicaps. Governments are dying slowly. The economy, the cost of the essential commodities is skyrocketing. You and I cannot even buy bag of rice today. Bag of rice, the cheapest in this country is 1,500, 2,000. Saddam, the one I eat, since the regime, the bag of rice I eat is 2,300 and 2,650 that is today. That's what I eat. Not because of this regime. I've been eating good food before because the other regime taught me how to eat good food like Oje Jallo and Bibi Davo. So I'm not worried to say that.
You're not forgetting about Sadauda.
No, I'm not forgetting. No, Sadauda, Bibi Davo,
and
Oje Jallo. I will never forget them. You know why? With the late Abu Dentin. They have invested a lot to the welfare of people with disability in this country, vulnerable people in this country. Not only me, and the late Father Goff of Santa Cruz High School. I can name them, the late Mustafa Drame. They contribute their quota to see to that the vulnerable people live to average standard. So I think Gambians should emulate those people. Gambian politicians and non-Gambian politicians, let them put that one thing in their mindset. If you do good, you leave a legacy. People will talk about it until the day you die. Even if you die, we will talk about it. But if you're bad, I'm sorry, we'll continue to castigate you and we'll continue to talk about it until the end of the world. So let the politicians try to leave a legacy. That's my policy. Let them try to leave a legacy. For their families to be proud of them. For our nation to be proud of them. Otherwise, we are nowhere. Let us forget about the politics now. It is time to develop this country.
All right. We now come to the ending of the program. So can somebody be a chairman of your federation, that is Gambia Federation of Disabled, and at the same time be a chairman of your council?
First of all, I blame Barrow of not electing a nominated member of parliament from the disability fraternity. I blame Barrow for that. I know he has the veto power not to elect us. He has the veto power to elect 5 people, isn't it? Including the speaker. He has the veto power to do that. But not appointing, nominating member of parliament, one of the handicapped or 2. I'm so disappointed about Barrow. If you have done 1, at least if we don't have 2, 1 should be there to represent people with disabilities in this country. We have 10%. We are 10% of the population in this country, if not more than that now. So if Barrow given them an opportunity, it would have been better for Barrow. It would have been better for the nation, and it would have been a wake-up call for other African nations to emulate Barrow. But I don't know who advised Barrow wrongly until he didn't do any of them. Well, to me, the way and the man I know him for the past 11 years before being the president, I know when people start talking about it, he regretted in mind of not doing it, but he has gone. But that's not the end of it. Disability Council is part of the disability bill. Let the government understand that. But you are rightly said. We have a chairman, the Federation of we have disabled, we have 18 to 19 disabled people organizations in this country under one umbrella called Gambia Federation of Disabled. And there's the main umbrella body. We've already have a chairman called Mohamed Krubali. We elect him there, we put him there. I'm part of the
chairman
team
of the federation.
Yes, Mohamed Krubali. And he's still the chairman of the federation. But what you are asking, many governments are asking me about it. And to my dismay is, Fatou Kinde should not use Mohamed Krubali against us or telling Mohamed Krubali that he's been appointed by the president. That's not true. Even if he does, we believe chairman of the Disabled Council, before they appoint anybody there, the 19 disabled people organizations should be consulted. You know, this was Barrow failed in 2017 to 2020 when he appointed Ndeseka, Honorable Ndeseka, as nominal member of Parliament on gender equality, not even to represent disabled. But at the end of the day, the Honorable was doing her best to talk about the issues of persons with disability. That was a good thing. But when the Honorable Ndeseka was appointed on gender-based equality, I went to the roots of it. So they were baffling us before, earlier stage, that for the first time, blah, blah. I went to the ground. I know that it was not true. It was a false information. Now, this Disability Council, I was told by Krubal himself that they call him surprisingly. Fatou Kinde appointed him as chairman of the...
Fatou Kinde who appointed him?
Him as the president appointed him.
The president appointed?
That's what he said, Fatou Kinde, and said Krubal is the chairman of the National Council, Disability Council. His credibility to be chairman of Disability Council is good. That's the credible. But to me, he shouldn't be a chairman of the Gambia Federation for Disabled, at the same time, a chairman of Disability Council. For me, Lamin Manneh, I don't need any position. I've declared that from the time I entered into politics, before I entered into politics, I don't need any position from the Gambia Federation. I don't need it. Because I want new people to come in to start where we stop. Because I've been in the board for the past 15, 17 years. With Asad Sanyang, before Asad Sanyang, and after Asad Sanyang, with Krubal himself, and so many. So I can say I'm the longest at the moment. So I retired myself when I was doing my HND at MDI as Secretary General of the Gambia Federation of Disabled. But to my observation and to my opinion, if Krubal is the Federation chairman, should not be a chairman at the same time to Disability Council. There are potential handicaps. There are credible Gambian handicaps within the Federation, within the 18 disabled people organization in this country, who can take that position. You cannot create two positions and give it to one person when others are there and they can do it. To me, Fatou Kinde, or the president, as he said, is trying to bring a confusion, I call it divide and rule within ourselves. I don't need any position. I don't even need that position. And I don't want to be party to it, to be honest with you.
So did your constitution support that?
Well, if the constitution didn't support it, already it's been given the position. And then I don't think so. Our constitution allowed that. I don't think so. I don't think so. There's no in the constitution that this one person can be chairman of the federation and the same person can be chairman of the council. No, it's not in the constitution. If it is there, let them come out and let me know. But to my knowledge, it's not there. And even if it's there, look, Krubal is a magistrate, different from being a chairman of the federation. He's a magistrate office. That's his job before being appointed. So he cannot be taking the three positions: magistrate, federation, national council chairman. Let the national council chairman be given to another handicap, so that everybody will see yourself. I don't know whether you understand. Let there be power sharing within the handicaps. Because to be frank, the law said from the disability bill and the law there said that the disabled council should be led by a disabled person. Yes, but Krubali cannot be a chairman of the Gambia Federation of Disabled, at the same time be the chairman of the Disability Council. That one is, to me, Fatou Kinde is trying to create a tension or trying to bring a hypocrisy.
So that's your opinion?
That's my opinion. To me, I condemn it, and I'm warning. and I'm advising Krubal. He's my boy. He's my younger brother. I'm older than him, and I senior him in the government civil sector. I know much in the government than him. I'm advising him to step away from that national council or take it and then give it federation chairman to somebody else. That's my advice to him.
Did your federation started receiving some subventions from the government of President Anwar?
For 11 good years, we never received any subvention from government. For the past 11 years. That is the regime of Barrow, the regime of Jammeh, and the regime of Barrow 2017 to 2021. We never received a single dollar from the government as a subvention. Never. The chairman himself one day came to my program at Hotel and he mentioned it there, that for the past 11 years, the Federation never received a single dollar from government as a subvention. And up to today, I'm talking to you, they never pay. All our activities are supported by UNDP, Article 19, and you can name them, so many, but not government. The upkeeping of the office, if not UNDP and other stakeholders, we will not be able to pay their staff. So that's a total failure by our state.
All right. Just to remind you again, you're watching your favorite program, Banko La Kuwo with Sirif Conte. That comes your way on every Sunday from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock p.m. Mr. Manneh, time has gone. So, what other thing do you think is very important and we didn't discuss it?
The other thing we didn't discuss, and it's very, very, very important for the nation. You know, my problem is I'm always focusing on Gambians, the way and how they live. First of all, we used to have 3 days workshop.
3 days.
This last Thursday, yesterday Thursday, today Friday, and tomorrow Saturday is the final date. Through the support of Ministry of Education, Region 1, and other stakeholders. But unfortunately, we couldn't do it yesterday because of rainfall. You know why? I don't think rainfall should stop anybody going ahead with your program. But because of the physical challenge, the vulnerability of people with disabilities in this country, in the area of accessibility of local commercial transport, caused for us to lose 1 day workshop. Instead of 3 days, we now did it 2 days.
So your colleagues were not...
My colleagues, they cannot come out because they won't be able to have access to commercial vehicles. Why? Government from 1965 to date, 57 years of nationhood, our 3 government never put it into their consideration that the vulnerable people with disability in this country should be catered with a special vehicle, with a special bus that will be plowing from one end to another to enable people with disabilities mobility in this country for the past 57 years of nationhood. So it's a challenge for Gambian handicaps. It's a challenge for vulnerable people in this country. And I'm still calling the attention of the new Minister of Works, Infrastructure, my cousin brother, another useless minister.
Why do you say it's a new...
Yeah, so I'm calling his attention that he's been moved to another ministry. He still has a long way to go.
You're talking about Ibrahim Silla?
Yeah, let him do something about that. At least to make it different, for people to say, bravo to Ibrahim Silla. Each time he's able to cater, each time he's able to provide transport means for people with disabilities in this country. It is a duty and responsibility, and it is domain to do that in collaboration with our own ministry. You know, our area, the Sun, when I said it's very sad, we are unfortunate to get the right ministers to tackle the issues of persons with disabilities in this country. We are unfortunate. From the First Republic, Second Republic, we are directly under the Health Ministry. When the capacity is bigger than, the demand is bigger than the supply. So for them to cater people with disability was a problem for them. Ministry of Health. So now Barrow came out and created another ministry called Gender, Children and Department of Social Welfare. We thought that it's going to be different from the other ministry. But in fact, it's more disastrous, more disappointing, more failure than the other ministry. Imagine your own minister, Fatou Kinte, after being a minister for Gender, Children and Department of Social Welfare, where handicaps are directly under her, decided to go and take a building, Cat building. You know Cat building? Abubakar Jawara's building. Cat building adjacent to IEC office down there. Badinghari Highway. You know the Cat building?
Guide building.
Guide building, yeah.
Opposite the election house?
Yeah, she went to rent that building at the tune of $1 million per annum. When the building cannot be accessible by the person with disability in this country. I call it the Kilimanjaro Mountain. As a Minister of Gender, Children and Development of Social Welfare, should set an example. As far as the disability has been crying for past years, and it is in the disability bill, accessibility is our challenge. It's among the challenges. She should go and find a means and ways to get a place whereby she will be easily accessible by the disabled people, by the handicaps. But not to go and take a Kilimanjaro Mountain. I call that building a Kilimanjaro Mountain. Because I went there to see her, I couldn't see her. My colleagues went there to see her, they couldn't see her because she's on the top floor of the building. So they cannot cater. You cannot cater your own people that are directly under you. How do you expect other ministry to cater them? When you as a minister should set an example. So I'm so disappointed by Barrow of putting Fatou Kinde there for the second time.
Has Fatou Kinde been attending your meetings and all that?
Fatou Kinde never attended any handicap meeting in this country. Never. Fatou Kinde, even our permanent secretary, never go. Because the first permanent secretary was Rohi Bitey. That was our first permanent secretary when she was being appointed. But even Rohi Bitey was there, and then Rohi Bitey left. She is now with defense. But even the permanent secretary there right now, in place in Rohi Bitey, never attended the disability issues. They always send director. Sometimes even the director would never even go there. You hardly see our director attending our meetings. Unless we go in for a place like Canning Light, because there will be per them there, the director will be roasted to go there because that's per them. But even only our year before last World Disability Day was the 3rd December, celebrated at Gambia College. It's only the director who was there. And imagine, UN country reps were there. UN country representative was there to grace the occasion. When our minister failed to go there, our permanent secretary failed to go there. Can they be powerful than the UN reps in this country? Yeah, I think and I believe the UN rep is more powerful than them. But they didn't even bother themselves to go there. How can you know their challenges? You never face them. You never engage them. You know why they are engaging Kurubari? Too much. Kurubari will not say no to them. Because of maybe his position as a magistrate, as a civil servant. But they need to get some people who are stronger than me.
So that's your opinion?
Yeah, who will be telling them the truth, nothing but the truth, and telling Fatou Kinde the way and the manner she's handling the issues of person with disability is totally wrong. But Kuruba will not do that. To my opinion, Kuruba will not do that.
That's your opinion.
Kuruba has a limitation as a civil servant.
All right. This is your favorite program. Do not forget to follow it. I'm your host, Serif Conte. This is Gambian Talents TV. You want to say something?
Yeah, and let the Gambian knows. Different from my position as a politician, I'm running an organization. I'm a chairman and the founder of that organization from 2007 to date, catering people with disabilities, the vulnerable ones. Okay. It's a charity, but I'm running it with the support of outsiders and insiders within the country. My office is located at Nema Tabokoro Johnson right now, the same place with the Fider 1 FM, the disability radio station. All right. The government knows that.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Until we meet again.
Ku ñuy sabar sa bunti kër looy waale yani New Life Animal Farm ñoom nag ñoo fi ñëwal askan wi tabaski bi ñu dégmal si képp ku namoon fay jëndee xar wala di xalaat fooy amee xar New Life Animal Farm ñëw neen pour dalal seeni xel ñu ngi leen amal si suñ gétta yi xar yu yaña xar yu healthy duñ leen jaay xarit ngeen takk ko benn fan ñaari fan balaa tabaski xar bi dee déedéet xar yu baax bu ma ne xar yu rëy xam ngeen ne laadum xeetum xar bi nga xam ne la nii xeet bu yaña la xeet bu ngand la tabaski bi bu paasee yéen ñi nga xam ne nii da ngeen am seen xew seen ngénte seen taka wala xew-xew boo leen mun ci am te soxla xar wala ngeen soxla béy jokkoo leen ak New Life Animal Farm kon nag daw leen foofu si suñu farm bi nekk sa Jiboora Koto jokkoo leen ak ñun si 797 9495 wala ngeen wooñu si 203 9224 yéen ñi nga xam ne yéen a nekk si diaspora bi jokkoo leen ak ñun si +1 206 963 2075 daw leen gaaw dem jëli seeni xari tabaski waaye bu tabaski bi passé dama ne xew day mat dem leen New Life Animal Farm ñu defanteeg yéen yu baax ak New Life Animal Farm dundin bu bees